listeners. Welcome back. It is us, Dragon's Greed Gaming. You're joining us for episode 4 of our Tale of Five Gamers for Warhammer 40,000 10th edition. It's been a few weeks, hasn't it, fellas? We've had to delay and push back a couple times, but I'm not sweating it anymore. I don't care. These episodes get released when they get released, and you people just have to deal with that. So more time to paint. Anyway, I'm joined. We've got the whole gang here. No technical difficulties so far. Eddie's not streaming from a car in the middle of nowhere, so it's all really good right now. Everything seems to be working. So, what's up, fellas? Welcome back. How's everybody doing?
Doing great.
Yep, needed that extra week to finish painting my bugs.
Yeah. I was going to say, you said it's extra time, but it really doesn't feel like it. I mean, it's...
Well, why don't we just dive right in here? Everyone has a few things to show off today, so we'll just we'll hop right in. So we'll just go down the list here in Discord. So Eric, you are first to bat. Welcome back. How's everything been? Epic beard going on there?
Yeah.
Letting it grow out?
Letting it grow a little bit. Letting everything grow.
You're secretly the Space Wolf now, it looks like.
They were one of my first armies. First Space Marines, actually. So this month, with the release of the points updates for World Eaters, I realized I was quite a few short now. My list went from like 960 to like 890. I had an old Blood Slaughterer that I'd been wanting to redo because I had picked up a few secondhand, and so they weren't painted by me. So
is that this spider-looking thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I broke it down into bits, stripped it the best I could, reprimed it, got it built back up, and so it's back up to some color back on it. It's not quite finished. It's got I still have some more trim to do. I want to clean up the red a little bit. And do some decals I have for my 30k World Leaders. So I'll throw some chains or something on it.
Is that a metal model?
Resin.
So it's a Forge World model,
It's a
right?
Forge World, yeah. It's a Forge World resin. So it's got like that, the like Earth. I think it got moved to Legends as well.
Is it unique to the World Eaters?
I don't believe
it's just
so.
A chaos thing.
I think it's just a chaos. Like I said, it got moved to Legends this edition, so it's this is the last edition of support. But I really like them because they're like one of the first thing. They might be the only thing with the harpoons, the Ursus Claw things.
The harpoon kind of looks like it's the symbol of corn.
Yeah.
The head of it. Interesting. Cool.
Hey, Eric, how did you do the red on it? Maybe I'm seeing things from these pictures here, but it looks like the color on it is almost like a metallic with like a red over it. Is that right?
So the silver is what the base was, that you can see in like one of the photos. Is it was all silver first, and then I used a Blood Angels contrast paint.
Okay.
To paint over it, and it kind of kept a little bit of the metallic look underneath.
Did you prime it silver, or did you hand paint it silver?
I hand painted it silver. It was primed like a dark gray.
So tank brush silver.
Yeah. Yep. I also got a little bit of work, quite a bit of work done on my 8-bound. So I did all the trimming and details on them, and got did a Agrax Earthshade wash to cover the top of them. I think this month I also did the bases a little bit more. I probably do a little bit more on the bases too. I have some basing material coming, and I have like stuff on my desk I could probably use too. I've just been a little bit lazy on bases.
I think someone needs to buy the Citadel Skull pack. I see a distinct lack of skulls on the ground.
I know. My berserkers, I use skulls on the bases to like determine who's the icon bearer.
Oh, okay.
So when they have skulls in their races, they're the ones that carry the icon before they got the model with the banner pole, the back pole.
It should be a pile of skulls. Who's got the biggest pile?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Have you ever seen those resin bases where the whole base is just skulls?
Yeah, I've seen a few people do that for Angron.
Always wanted to do that for a Khorne army.
I was like, that's the nice thing about Khorne in the 40k universe. It's the path for promotion is very clear. Like it's
Yeah.
very spelled out. It's like it's acquire more skulls, and that's how you work your way up. You know.
Yeah.
I have to say, Eric, this is a prime example. These guys are called 8-bound, right?
Yep.
This is a prime example of the power of washes. Because you look at that first picture, especially the guy with the lighter skin, and then when you see the second picture where it's got the wash, they look like two different models.
Yeah.
And like that is a great example of you don't need to be a master painter to make something looks great on the tabletop. And an army up to that standard will look stellar, especially if it's paint a shit ton of stuff like zombies or cultists or horde armies like Guard. So if you're struggling with painting, folks, strive for that. Get your base coats down, do a wash. As we all know from our one training at Games Workshop, what is the best product Games Workshop sells? Devlin Mud.
Academy.
Well, we were looking for Realm of Battle
Null
Table,
Oil.
but we'll accept Devlin Mud. Null Oil didn't exist back then. That was the very first wash set that came out, but that was the joke because they were like, obviously the best product is the most expensive one. That's what you should try to sell. And then this guy's like, Devlin Mud.
Yeah, so I think
he was not lying, man. That
No,
stuff
it's
is amazing.
true.
I was gonna say the
Exactly.
same thing.
I've
Chris
used that
said how different
so
they
many
look
models.
after the wash. Looks amazing.
Yeah, and just a little bit of details on my Juggernaut, my Lord Invocatus. I'm probably gonna leave the 8-bound alone for a little bit, and try and get everything to that level, and then maybe do some like highlights and everything at the end.
Okay.
But
Cool.
so
Well,
fairly successful. I got quite a
Yeah.
few models left on my table, and I did not get any additional work on Angron. So that'll probably slow me down at the end.
Yeah, I'm feeling the burn, but
Yeah.
awesome. Cool. Well done. At least you got something done. So I guess we can all say that at least it was at least semi-productive for everybody. So
Exactly.
but then this guy shows up with his knights, and that's like a whole army. So what's going on, Brian? How are you?
Yep. That's like over 1,000 points right there on the table. It's close to it actually, but I'm not. So I've worked up to this point on these two nights, but basically what I'm doing now is I'm from here forward, I'm filling out 1,000 points of just the night. I forget what they're called, like the mini knights.
Armatures.
Yes, armatures, and then the Mechanicus stuff that's going to go with it. So I'm pivoting just to work on the Crusader's the one with the missile pack on its back, and the Mechanicus dude, the Adept.
I love that model, that Tech Priest.
Yeah, he's cool, isn't he? So that I'm going to focus on their bases and get like everything going now. It's really weird. I realize like it probably doesn't look like I got a ton done, but painting the two knights simultaneously is like,
It's a lot of work.
it's crazy. It's way more than I and especially now that I'm getting like I've done all the blocks. I've kind of blocked out all the big stuff, right? So now it gets to the little fickle niddly details. And it's like I can't go back and forth and just do this on two. I have to just focus on the one and then finish it and then go back to the other. Because I'm doing it for fun, I'm just picking Mechanicus stuff that I like. So those dudes on the horses, I'm gonna have 3 of those dudes on the horses. The mechanical horses, I don't even know what they're called. So that's and actually now I'm at the point too where I'm going to start doing like the paint chipping, like those kind of details on the knights, so that it looks like that they've been kind of in battle type of thing. But so like I said, it didn't really feel like I had extra time here. I was pretty busy, but you know, it's kind of slow and steady progress. I think the biggest things I think is kind of refining that kind of copper color against the blue, and I've started to try and like isolate the details, right? So everything gets a little bit more controlled from here on out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like the color choices. It looks good with that kind of grayish blue. What color is that? Are you using Citadel?
Yeah, it's like 4 different colors. So
okay.
One of the things I've started doing, especially with something like this, is I also use in the washes. But so it's one of the darker blues, but then I mix the white into it, obviously, to get this, and then I wash it with a brown, and then wash it with a blue again. So it keeps it, the brown kind of is like, sets that contrast apart and kind of pulls it keeps it from popping too far away from the copper. And then the blue kind of keeps it blue, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really stupid statement, but you know.
No. What blue did you use? The wash.
Let me run downstairs. I'll go check and find out.
It's no big deal. I was
Blue
curious.
wash.
Yeah, blue wash. They're all the same. It's good. Yeah, I think it looks fantastic.
When someone else starts talking, I'll run down and get it, and because it's downstairs in my paint station. It's like a dark. It's like one of the. Do they have one that's like kind of like a dark elf blue or something like that? Maybe.
Drukai Violet.
Possibly that. No, it's not.
Nagaroth Nightshade.
Nightshade. There you go.
Okay, cool. I actually have that.
Uh,
and you just like wash it in the corners. You just like bathe the whole thing.
I kind of bathe it, and I smudge it around. I'm pretty, like when I'm working on especially big stuff in like early stages, basically on everything I do, I'm super messy. I'm not careful at all because I always feel like I get like the biggest chunks down and then I clean it up as I go. It's probably not the most efficient way to paint, but it's I kind of like it because it gives it like a real natural kind of, there's smudges and runs and stuff like that make it look kind of weather beaten that I like.
Yeah. I was wondering how you got, because I noticed that like effect that you're describing right now, and that's kind of what I was getting at, to see how you accomplished that. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
I have to say, these knights have a surprising amount of trim. They seem to be suffering from chaos model syndrome. So I feel your pain. That's a lot to do,
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it because there's so many big flat areas, but all those little bits, especially if you actually pick the trim out like you did, that's time consuming. So, but yeah, man, they look awesome. Look great.
Thank you.
So what's next?
So I'm gonna build. I've got an armature. I'm gonna build that, and the 3 horse dudes.
Okay.
And that will put me at just about 1,000 points. So I feel pretty good that I'm gonna make my 1,000.
And are those the horses? Are they the guys on the big ones, the Iron Striders, or like the actual like cavalry sized?
They're cavalry sized.
They're like, isn't it like mechanical dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but I know what you're talking about. Okay.
I just think they look cool, so I'm going with them.
We play 40K here, folks. We really do.
I mean, I haven't played a game in an absurdly long time, so that's the other thing, is I'm kind of hoping this gets me back into it. But I've always been that kind of player anyway, where like, if I don't mind losing, if I like what I'm playing, that type of thing. So
For sure.
Some people be like, nah, those guys suck on the table. I'm like, that's cool. I like. They look great getting blown to their, component molecules. I'm fine with that.
And if they ever do win, it's the feeling of achievement and it all came together. So makes it all the sweeter. Cool. Well done. And we're gonna switch it over now to the brightly colored, very different for Eddie this month. Tell us what we're looking at, man.
Yeah, so I'm switching it up. No more Space Marines for the rest of this.
Also, Eddie, can you fix your camera? We're just like getting your forehead.
Because I was like leaned over looking. The screen is too close.
Set up straight.
Camera mounted.
It's a wonderful.
Now you sound like my back doctor. With my brace on. Okay, so
that's better. Thank you.
My mission right now from now until the end of this is to power through the rest of the Indominus box or whatever this thing's called. I don't know.
Leviathan.
Leviathan, yeah, Leviathan box. I'm gonna paint all the Tyranids in the Leviathan box as fast as possible,
Okay.
and this paint scheme right here is gonna allow me to do that. So in the first pictures you're seeing, like the Gaunt Squad I put together, and I did some kind of tests with different color combinations of all the different paints I had laying around. I liked the purple and green one, and the red with the brown carapace I thought actually looked kind of cool too. But in the end, I decided to go with the blue carapace and red skin. I thought that was a kind of vibrant color combination that was like way different. It's blue like my Space Wolves, but it's like a way different tone of blue, and then the red bodies and stuff. So,
And how did you actually like achieve these paint schemes? Is it contrast paints? Is it dry brushing?
So here's the thing. Basically, I the pictures I shared I think last week show or in the one picture you can see the test model up front, but it's kind of blurry. I basically just base coated them black primer, then I zenithal highlighted them with the airbrush,
Okay.
and then I took white and dry brush white on them so that the edges were like extremely
On the entire
picked out.
model?
Yeah, like I
Okay.
just took a giant dry brush and just went white all over the whole thing, just to catch like every hard edge. And then I just went and had basically every single color is a contrast, or I'm using the Warhammer speed paints, or what are they, not Warhammer,
Army
Painter. I'm using the Army Painter speed paints. I really like their speed paints, and I like that they come in the bottle instead of the pot that the GW ones come in.
Yep.
That's the big draw for me. And then I just like hammered through them, and I threw the red on first, and then I went back and touched up. I took the like a gray and touched up where the red went too far into like the carapace and stuff. Then I would do the blue carapace, the guns, the feet. I got this pro acryl like brown earth basing. It's like a mud type thing you just smather on there. And then I got these like really vibrant tufts. I really wanted to use the like almost cartoonish tufts on the basis to like, because I've always seen those at the store, and they just don't fit on my Space Marines.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this was a perfect opportunity to use them. So like, if you combine like those super bright tufts and like that like icy blue carapace with the bright red bodies and then like when I painted the guns purple, I was like, oh my god, this looks like it's like very very colorful, way more colorful than I'm used to painting. But it looks kind of cool. Like I'm really interested to see what pushing an army of those around the table looks like.
It's got a really cool old school feel to it, I gotta say. Like,
it reminded me of like 90s or like
Yeah,
early
I agree,
90s,
man. It is striking.
like White Dwarf.
It catches your eye from a distance, and the different colored grass feels like they're on an alien planet. So I really dig it. What now? I'm curious though. What was it about this paint scheme that you like? Because I agree. I think the purple and green, both of the guys with the purple skin, but I love purple. But the purple and green and the red and brown in particular, I think, are really cool looking schemes. So what was it about this one you liked?
It was just vibrant. I wanted something that was more like out there instead of like the purple. And I don't know, two things. One, this has like my favorite slushy is when you take the cherry and the blue raspberry, you mix them together, and this is like that painted onto a toy. Like it's like the blue raspberry cherry slushy combination.
Yeah,
and I like that from like a childhood memory perspective. And then I wanted something kind of vibrant, and I don't know, the purple and the green I kind of liked, but then I was like, it's like so like Mardi Gras looking. I'm like, if I paint yellow eyes on
it
him,
is.
if I paint yellow eyes on there, they're gonna be like they're like the Joker one, like very Joker color combination.
You could paint the Joker smile on all of them.
Yeah, I could have, because they have like really big smiley mouths too.
Yeah, with all the teeth.
I don't know. I was just kind of torn. And then the red and the brown I thought looked really good, but it was too subdued for me. I wanted it to be like bright. Like because when I was trying to think of color schemes, I was like, thinking about what insects look like and then bugs, and I'm like, yeah, you know, dangerous things have like bright colors to scare things away. Like I'm poisonous, you know. So I'm like,
Mhm.
they're gonna be bright and scary.
I love it. Well, it's nice. It's nice seeing something that's not a typical High Fleet color. I'm so sick of seeing Leviathan paint schemes. So, well
Yeah,
done.
everyone just copies that. It's 'cause it's so easy.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
this is
So,
super easy with all the washes, man.
what what are you gonna try to do for next month out of the Leviathan box?
I think I'm gonna pick the big brain bug and
Hell yeah.
maybe the Lictors or
Okay.
the Von Ryan Weepers. Those
Yep.
things are really a really cool model. I don't know, man. My plan was hopefully this coming week I'm gonna build as much of the box as I can from the Tyranid side, and then just look at which ones I think look the coolest and pick one.
Wonderful. Well, I think you've. It's cool to see something other than Space Wolves, and I don't think we're disappointed here, man. These look great.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be for the rest of the trip. It's gonna be
Cool.
bugs from here on out. I have to get a new background.
Have you accumulated every Space Wolf miniature yet at this point? Are you missing anything?
No, believe it or not. So they changed the rules to make it so that running a squad of 8 Thunderwolf Cav is actually a pretty strong thing to do. You take the max squad of Thunderwolves, which is 6, and then you take a lieutenant and a captain on a Thunderwolf. Funny thing is, I don't even own that many Thunderwolf Cav because I've always ran them in like squads of 3, 4, or 5 because you take one at a time. They're always really OP or overpriced. I mean, so I'd only want to take like 4 max at a time. I don't think I ever ran a squad of 5, and then and then you can't find them anymore because they're popular.
Yeah.
So
That's
now you
always the
can't find them
problem.
on eBay. It used to be all over eBay, not anymore. I gotta pay full price, and I'm like, dude, I really want to pay full
Yep.
price for like
The
one more dog. I'm using
the circle of the meta.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say
using-
now's the time to buy up all the what's the ones that are really bad right now? The wolf
The
guys,
werewolf, the
wolfen.
wolf, the
oh the
wolfen.
Wolfen. Yeah, those things
Yeah,
are still
buy about 30 of
garbo.
those because they'll be good.
Yep. One day. Cool. Looks like I'm next on the list. So as you guys can see, I did not have the most productive month. I only painted 4 models, but they are Terminators, so that's cool. I've got 8 in total. I've got a mix of the regular 5-man squad and then the 3 from the Lord Felthus cohort box. So I just picked 5 I thought looked cool. At least I'll pretty much have all the weapon options once these are all painted. And just did my usual Nurgle recipe here. And I don't have a whole lot of time to paint, so I get maybe like half hour to an hour every night when I am able to paint. So get them done slowly, and I finished up the bases last night, so I'm pretty happy with them. They, I think I still remember my Nurgle paint scheme after all these years. They look pretty much like the other ones I painted, for 4 editions. So it all kind of worked out.
Oh, I've always loved your sludge. You mentioned those bases. I love that, like whatever that green ooze is.
Yeah, that's it. And I was talking about that with Eddie. So when I first did these, I painted the sludge with, at the time, it was Scorpion green. So the super bright neon green. And of course, it popped and it really was striking. But then this one came out. This is Nurgle's Rod. It's one of their technical paints. And when I saw this, I knew I had to use it. And I think it looks more realistic and it adds more of a diseased, sludgy look. Whereas the neon green was kind of cartoony. So, I like both of them, but I think this fits more of like I wanted diseased, nasty looking dudes. So we rebased everything with that. And then if you look closely on, especially on the new Death Guard models, wherever they have like a hole in their armor or a crack, I'll put some blood for the blood god and then some of the Nurgle's Rod in there. So it looks like they have like a pussy weeping sore. And it looks so disgusting, and that's what I wanted. So I also tried out for the Verdigris effects. I tried out the Verdigris from Duncan Rhodes' Tooth and Coats paint line, and it worked just as well as the I think it's Nihilus Oxide from Citadel. But Citadel pots, I went to go use my Nihilus Oxide, and it's dried out because I haven't used it in 6 months. So we're going to use Duncan stuff instead because it comes in dropper bottles. So that worked out really well. And they're done. So I'm happy about that. And then you guys can see next thing I'll probably do is going to be the Chaos Spawn. I ordered 2 off Etsy here, so I've got pictures of them. They're supposed to be here, I think, on Tuesday, according to shipping. I've ordered my 2 characters, the Blightspawn guy and the Lord of Virulence, but my shop still hasn't got them, even though having ordered them like 3-4 weeks ago. So not sure what's going on with Games Workshop there. And I have decided I am going to do the Nurgle Defiler conversion. I found one online that I thought was really cool, so I've been gathering up the bits, but Defilers are out of stock right now, so they're nowhere to be seen. So I don't know if or when I'll get to that, but that'll probably be towards the end of this. So hopefully we'll get the other models in between, because I need a break from painting Terminators. So, and most exciting, Ernie and I have actually played our first 2 games of 10th edition, and it's been a fucking blast. We've been doing some combat patrol, and we even recorded our last game. We're going to try to maybe do some sort of YouTube battle reports. So, and both of them were very close. First game was what, like a 6 or 8 point victory point difference, right?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but the second one was even closer than that.
The second one, it was a draw, but I won because he had no models on the table. But it was 0 victory, or it was a tied victory points at the very end. Typhus put the team on his back and fucking went to town. But man, yeah. So far it's been cool. We've enjoyed ourselves. So, all right. We'll finish it up here with Ernie. You've got at least more than 10 minutes right now. I don't have a warning here, so have at it.
Well, this month I got the Squad of Infernus guys done from the Blythen box. I had a lot of fun doing it, actually. So this was the squad I kind of worked on last month, where I was like experimenting with different dry brush techniques to use with the contrast paint for highlighting, like kind of not having to do it the old school way. So this is, I think I have one set of like work in progress steps where I get to the tabletop ready point. But yeah, I just kind of like slammed through this whole squad, and I got them all done to like completely finished status. There was like a couple hiccups on the way. One of them being when I used my matte varnish yesterday night. There was like a little. It was kind of an old. It wasn't that old of a can. It was only a couple years old, but I hadn't used it in a while. So when I sprayed it, it had like these weird like little white particles that were like kind of getting on the bottles. You might be able to see them in a couple of pictures, which was disappointing. So I had to like go back and like scrape a bunch of it off, and it took a lot longer than I expected. But
that's not old. I've only had it sitting around for a couple of years. It's not old.
Well, I mean,
hey man, hey, it's $15 for a new one.
It's
it's more than that these days. Fuck.
It's in a spray can, right?
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't go bad, but and like I said, on the test model that I used it on, like it barely showed up, so I like didn't really notice it at first. Anyway, but yeah, these guys got all done. I got all the details done. The sergeant came out especially nice. Obviously the guy with the red helmet is the sergeant. I took a couple like little shortcuts to do on him, but like for overall, the effect worked really well. I feel like I could have done a little better on the. I tried to do like a burnt kind of like chart effect on the like front ends of the pyre blasters. Kind of give it like a soot-filled look. I feel like it could have came out a little better. I was doing like black washes and brown washes over each other. But like I said, the effect overall I think came out pretty well.
Yeah, I can tell that you tried to do something there. It's definitely noticeable. If you want something more distinct, just lightly dry brush a little bit of black paint, and that'll get you that soot effect you're looking for.
Yeah. If I had to do it all over again, I think there's like a better way to do that effect. The problem is it's like one of those things where it's like how much time do you want to invest in it? Because the method I did was like pretty straightforward, right? You take whatever, I think it was Stormhill Silver, and then you wash it a couple times. The correct way to do it, I'm aware, is like, do Stormhill Silver, then go back, do like, the next brown or the copper color, and then, you do like a dry brush of black, put like some tint bits on there, and it's like, I was trying to avoid the 7 color like layer, make it like look good, so this was like kind of like the midway point that I got with that technique. But I like I said, I like the effect overall, and the squad I think came out really good. So I was actually pretty proud, because even they said the transfers also were kind of an annoyance. and I don't have very many squads that I've completed to like the 100% mark, like these guys. So it was nice to add another like 10 guys to the army that are completed and like done.
Yeah, for sure. I
I
like the
tend to get
sergeant's
to the-
his little Fallout bracelet he's got going on there.
Yeah. I tend to get to the step like right before this where it's like, okay, I gotta do the transfers, or the grass. It's another one I drove to the static grass and every one. I'm like, oh, I'll do that as the final step, and I'll come back later. And I never do. Right? They just sit in the box with like all the colors done, but you know they're missing the grass, they're missing the transfers. So it's nice to have a squad that's like fully done. So.
What's going on in the first picture of the whole squad? What's going on with the guy in the top left? It looks like he doesn't have a right hand.
No, you can't tell. He's the same kind of pose as the sergeant.
Yeah.
Except instead of a pistol aiming it backwards, he's throwing a grenade.
Oh, I see now. Okay, I was like, what's going on? Is he missing his gun? It's on his waist.
Yeah, if you look at one of the other pictures, I think there's kind of like a better angle. He's
see.
like throwing a grenade.
Okay.
I think he's supposed to be the other squad sergeant if you split him into 2 squads of 5. But I felt like it was kind of cooler as a squad of 10. So
gotcha.
So I'm picking one sergeant.
Oh yeah, because these models are not like true, like they're kind of monopose, but not really. Like one of those like hybrid poses.
Mm-hmm. The Leviathan box, I think. You know, now that I think about it, I don't even know if there was a second set of like sergeant war gear with like a combat knife and a pistol. I want to say there was, so you could have made them both like that's like the actual sergeant, where he's like pulling out his combat knife. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to have like this guy throwing a grenade, because I always forget about the fact that Marines have grenades. Yeah. Sometimes in rules they're represented that way, but I always forget. So, little visual reminder.
Grenades have had a weird history of rules in 40K.
Yeah.
So from
one
guy can throw them, to everybody has them, to you need to use a stratagem, like to use this war gear that you're carrying. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, like I said, if I would have remembered to use one of these guys' grenades on Typhus during our game, I might have been able to win.
Or just punch him in the face with aggressors until he stops moving.
Didn't work.
It worked the first time, though. Yeah,
it worked the first time, not the second time.
He knew, though. He was ready. Clog up those fists with 30 poxwalkers, then he can kill you. Good times. Yep. Cool. So what's next? What are you gonna for next month?
Next month, I'm changing gears a little bit, and I'm doing some tanks. I have the Repulsor Annihilator and the Impulsor. So I got 2 tanks I got to do. And I've never done a tank for my army, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
I've never actually painted one. So once again, we're going to go back to the creative learn a new paint scheme step, and I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do that. So,
is the Impulsor the transport that you've had in our combat patrol games?
Yes, that's the transport that can hold like 6 dudes.
And the Repulsor is like the Predator version of the Primaris tank, right? Or the Primaris version of the Predator tank, I should say.
No, it's the Primaris Land Raider.
Oh, it's the Land Raider.
The Repulsor is, yeah.
Okay. What's the other one then?
This is the Repulsor Annihilator, which is the one with the giant laser beam cannon on the top. So it has can only carry, I think, I don't remember how many, 6 dudes I want to say. But it has like obviously crazy shooting. So
okay.
That'll be fun.
Gladiator tanks are the ones you're thinking of, Chris.
Gladiators.
That are the ones that replace.
How could I forget the Gladiator tank as opposed to the Repulsor and Impulsor?
Yeah, Repulsor, Impulsor.
I mean, they name them different things for a reason, Chris.
Yeah, well, maybe if Space Marines didn't have 400 data sheets across half the fucking game.
Hey, man, we just lost some data sheets, all right?
Yeah, you need to lose more. You lose a few of those chapters, too. Get your shit together, Games Workshop. All right.
There's
fucking 16 other factions to work on. Remember Harlequins? I don't. Big rip.
No, who cares about stupid elves, man?
You're a stupid elf. Oh fuck them. I don't care about them either. Anyway, it's weird coming from a guy who I have chaos, so I can't really. I still paint power armor even though I tried to avoid it, but here we are. So. All right. Well, that's my rant and my TED Talk for today. So, all right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Great progress. We'll be back probably in about 4 weeks-ish. We'll see. We're just kind of playing it by ear at this point, so it might get a little dicey with all the holidays coming up in November and December. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. Keep painting, get some paint on those gray models, and we will see you next time, whenever that may be. Have a good one. Nighty night. Hello, listeners. Great Unclean One here. I just wanted to thank you for taking your time to watch this video. For more content like this, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons? And if you're a fan of role-playing games, then be sure to check out one of our actual play series. We've got campaigns of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Alien the role-playing game, and Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory, with plenty more to come. Finally, a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members. Your support means the world to us, and you help push the channel to even greater heights. We simply could not do this without all of you. And if you'd like to help support the channel yourself, even more than a like or subscribe, consider joining our Patreon and get yourself some cool rewards. Link in the description below. Thanks again, and we will see you in the next one. Same time, same place. Nighty night.